This is Texans TV.
We're breaking down film with Deshaun Watson.
And right when I saw it, I already knew. Right when I came up to the line of scrimmage, I'm calling out the protection.
And the latest episode of Puro Texans. Texans 360 starts now.
We are ready to rock in Houston. Rock and roll. Touchdown.
Guess when you think you've seen it all, there's always something else.
Welcome into Texans 360. I'm your host, Deepi Sidhu. It is a holiday season, and we've got lots of presents in this show. We've got Deshaun Watson breaking down film in a way you've never seen him before. Plus, had a chance to sit down with rookie Jonathan Greenard. These rookies are getting a lot of playing time in the month of December. He looks back on his rookie campaign. But first, the Indianapolis Colts. We just saw them a few weeks ago. We're about to see them again. What's changed? What do you need to know for Sunday's matchup? John Harris breaks it all down.
It's time for the Performance Report brought to you by Hyundai. And for the second time in 3 weeks, the Texans take on the AFC South division-leading Indianapolis Colts. Now there's tiebreakers and all that kind of stuff, but you get the point. The Colts are playing very well at this time of year. And just 2 weeks ago, the Texans had an opportunity to knock off the Colts, and in gut punch fashion, were not able to finish off the job. Now, between that game and the one coming up, the Colts had one game out in Las Vegas, and they hammered the Raiders in particular in the second half. And they were able to do it in a way that I think the Texans have seen, but not to this degree. The Colts ran the ball in the second half on the Raiders, exposed the Raiders' defensive front and blitzes and tricks they were running, and the Colts just hammered it down their throat. To a point where Jonathan Taylor ended up with 150 rush yards, including a 62-yard touchdown run, where he really ran against nothing because the Raiders were misaligned. And that leads me to this point. T.Y. Hilton is important, there's no doubt. Getting to Phillip Rivers is important, there's no doubt. But if the Texans don't slow down the Colts running game, it's going to be a nightmare. So two things must happen. Gap integrity's got to be on point, and run to the football. The effort to the football has got to be top notch. If either of those things are out of whack, it's going to be a long day stopping this offense because of the way that Jonathan Taylor's running it, the way that Nyheim Hines is adding to this offense, and Jordan Wilkins comes in and gives them great reps as well. On the other side of the ball, the Colts don't change a whole lot. They play zone coverage. They'll show you some disguises. Their corners are just okay. Their safeties are good. Linebackers Darius Leonard and Anthony Walker are very good in their zone drops, but it's up front where the Colts are excellent. DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart are two guys that the Texans front must block. We saw that in the game 2 weeks ago. Those two guys wrecked the game from the inside. Yeah, Justin Houston had 3 sacks. You know why he had those 3 sacks? Because up front, those two guys were wrecking shop. The Texans cannot allow Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner to get in their house and mess it all up. Can't do it. They've got to lock those guys down. And maybe you run the ball a little bit with Buddy Howell. You saw a little bit against the Bears. Maybe he's the right fit against the Colts. We'll see. But if you don't block those two monsters inside, you can forget it. It'll be a long afternoon in Indianapolis. And I'm not ready for that. So let's block those two guys and get it done.
Good stuff from John Harris, but we always like to turn to the opposing team to see what they think of their own team. And I caught up with my good friend Lara Overton, Colts team reporter. Here's what she had to say about these Colts heading into December. This week on Enemy Sidelines, presented by Microsoft Teams, Lara Overton, team reporter for the Indianapolis Colts. She joins me once again. It feels like just yesterday, Lara, that we were talking, but really it was just a few weeks ago. And not a lot's changed, but here we are again. Colts versus the Texans, this time up in Indy. That loss for the Texans was a tough one to swallow, and I think we were reeling for a long time. But on the other side, what did that win mean for the Colts?
The Colts really took into Houston a playoff-like mindset. We hear that all the time, you know, that you get into the month of December and you do have that mentality. You're putting all of your faith in your defense at the end of that game to come up with a play. And for the Indianapolis Colts, you feel like you're in the driver's seat to maintain a push to the playoffs, to extend play out of the regular season. But there is no room for error. There's no ability to let your foot off the gas with the games you have remaining. Houston is always going to play you tough, whether that is at Energy Stadium or if that's at Lucas Oil Stadium.
So that leads us to our next gen stat presented by AWS. The Colts actually rank 5th in the NFL in points per game. They're averaging 28.6 points per game. So let's start with Phillip Rivers. I mean, is he playing the best football you've seen so far this year?
I really point to Phillip did not have a great game at Cleveland. That loss to the Browns, I see as a pivotal point for this offense. Didn't play up to my standard. I didn't play up to the Colts standard. I didn't play to the standard that we practice within. And he channeled all of that and then has put this team in such great position offensively. I think the other thing is, you mentioned this defense. This defense is one that prides itself on takeaway, and they're going to need to continue that moving forward. So for me, a lot of focus on this defense and continuing to be really disruptive, play really fast and physical. You mentioned giving up among the fewest points allowed so far in the NFL, and you're going to need them to continue to just be as disruptive as they have been, especially in shutting down teams in the second half as we look through this stretch of December and hopefully a few more weeks after that.
Sounds good, Lara. Thanks so much for the time, and we'll talk soon. Love catching up with Lara and all my friends from around the league. I love that they tell us the important names that we need to know for each matchup. But do you know the important numbers? Because we're going to bring those to you right now with FedEx by the numbers.
4. Number 4, Deshaun Watson is only the 4th quarterback since 1970 to have at least 3,500 passing yards and 25 passing touchdowns in 3 of his first 4 seasons. 5. Since Week 5, nobody in the NFL has as many tackles as linebacker Terrell Adams. The inside backer has 91 stops in that 9-game span. 7. And speaking of tackles, Zach Cunningham is now the franchise's 7th leading tackler all time. He moved past Jamie Sharper, who had 442 tackles as a Texan, and finished with 8 tackles on Sunday at Chicago. I'm Mark Vandermeer, and this is By the Numbers, presented by FedEx.
Go inside the mind of DW4. That's next on Texans 360.
Right about here, I knew exactly where I want to go, and I'm launching it. Getting ready to launch it right now.
We've been living here on Lakes on Eldridge for about 9 years now. We really love the community. It's a very diverse community. I've been a season ticket member since September 2002. Well, we tailgate like a Texans by getting ready, getting everybody fired up, having great barbecue, great beverages. We just enjoy the camaraderie. You know, everybody that we don't get to see all week, and then we, you know, that particular day we get together and have just fun and be ready to root on the Texans.
Welcome back to Texans 360. You've seen Deshaun Watson on the field. He's spectacular. We get to hear him post-game in his press conferences. He's always very insightful. Well, we take it a step further. John Harris and Mark Vandermeer got a chance to get inside Deshaun's brain with a little bit of film study, what he sees when he's breaking down a play. And we've got it for you right here on Texans 360 with Deshaun Watson. Take a look.
Welcome to our special evening, and it's so special to have Deshaun Watson with us. I'm Mark Vandermeer, voice of the Texans. We have John Harris, sideline reporter and Texans analyst, and of course, your quarterback, Deshaun Watson. How's it going, Deshaun?
What's up? What's up? I'm glad to be on here.
So as you're going through this play, when do you know, and at what point do you know Vincent's the guy you're throwing to down here at the bottom of the screen? When did you know?
Well, I kind of knew before the play even happened. So right now, I already know where I'm going with the ball. So right about here, I knew exactly where I want to go, and I'm launching it. Getting ready to launch it right now because I knew that the safety was collapsing down on this number 2 receiver.
Take us through this touchdown if you don't mind, because there's a lot going on. There's 43 seconds left. And they've got guys moving around. Jordan and Davenport were on the same side at different times. Safeties are moving. What is it about this play? How did you know this play was going to work? Take us through this touchdown to Kenny Stills. that put us ahead against the Saints?
Well, honestly, this is really this is where film study and kind of preparation goes into. So we thought that all week, we thought that this is what they're going to do every third down, because this was their third down package from last year and a couple of years ago. We worked on it all week, and right when I saw it, I already knew. Right when I came up to the line of scrimmage, I'm calling out the protection.
How did you know that it was going to be Williams dropping and Bell coming? Because you actually move away from that.
Well, you see how the safeties kind of went like that. So
Yeah.
they did opposite of what they're going to do. And usually when it comes down to it, when everyone that's in this chat, when you're watching tape on or watching games on Sunday, if one guy is going opposite, they're usually coming back. And so I felt that and I saw that. So I remiked it and pointed it left. So that's why I kind of peeked to confirm that Bell was coming off the edge. And if we got him, well, we didn't really get him. So I had to slide and I kind of peeked. But I knew exactly, like I said before, I knew where I was throwing the ball. I was throwing it to a spot.
On first down from the Saints 37, here's the snap. Deshaun firing downfield, and he's got a man! Touchdown, Houston! Oh my goodness!
The one against Buffalo, where you carried people into the end zone with you. I mean, do you physically, obviously you physically feel it, but is the adrenaline rushing and you don't really feel the pain in a moment like that as much as you might later because of the magnitude of the situation? I mean, how does that feel for you physically?
It doesn't feel too bad until like a day or two after the game. At that moment, I'm not even feeling it, honestly. It just, everything's kind of clicking at once, and I'm just kind of, I don't know, I just been in a different atmosphere in my head.
It is year 4, so has that changed the way you approach some of those moments compared to, say, your rookie year?
Oh, for sure, most definitely. Like John brought up the Cowboys game. Right, I'm not going 3 straight plays in a row trying to run out with that cost me my ribs a little bit and I collapsed lung. Those days are out the way. You know, when it's, you know, if it's Super Bowl or something like that, you know, we need it, then yes. And then if, you know, a situation like where I know who I'm going against, for sure. But not necessarily every play. Now I'm gonna slide and I'm gonna let the running backs take care of it.
When you're facing a team that has one of those demons on the other side, and Johnny's doing all the X's and O's with you, how aware are you of, oh my gosh, Aaron Donald is right there, or Khalil Mack, or one of these guys, you know, Von Miller, somebody like that. You don't have to face Watt other than practice, but he's not going to touch you. So what is your awareness level when you have one of those guys on the other side of the line of scrimmage?
You know, my awareness level is very, very high. It's not so much of that I'm, you know, focused mainly on them, but, you know, you just have to be aware of, you know, whenever he's rushing, you know, if we're trying to get 2 guys on him or if he comes through, you got to react a little bit sooner than what you expect because, you know, those guys are really, really elite.
Okay, Monique has a trick question here, Deshaun. Let's be careful with this one. My son just started playing football and is conflicted on following coach's instructions when he sees the play isn't going to work. What advice can you give teenagers just starting up on this?
Just follow what the coaches say.
Boom.
Yep.
Excellent answer.
Do what they ask, do what they say, and if it don't go well, then that's on them.
We really do appreciate you visiting with us. And I know everybody, all the Verizon Up members, and they really enjoy hearing from you. So thanks so much for this.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Coming up, get to know rookie linebacker John Greenard. That's next on Texans 360.
This season is not the same without our fans. You may not be going to the stadium this year, but with Microsoft Surface, our game day traditions aren't going anywhere. The Houston Texans are bringing our game day traditions to you at home, with friends and family, or wherever you may be, through the Game Day Traditions page presented by Microsoft Surface on the Houston Texans app at HoustonTexans.com. Texans traditions are timeless. Help pass along our traditions to the next generation of Texans fans by singing and clapping along to Deep in the Heart of Texas. Helping Toro out with the Houston Texans chant and cheer for every Texans first down with your family, no matter where they are. Make sure traditions don't skip a beat and take part in everything Texans game day. Lead off with pregame performances including Deep Steel Thunder and the National Anthem, and keep the celebration going into the fourth quarter with yells of "We are Texans" and cap off scoring drives and victories with football time in Houston. No matter where you're rooting for the Texans, celebrate what makes Texans game day special. Texans fans and Texans families bring our traditions to life.
Texans 360 rolls on every single week. I get a chance to catch up with a player on my Deep Slant interview. And you know what? 2020 has just been a really unique experience for all rookies. And John Greenard, I had a chance to sit down with the outside linebacker. He started off a little behind the gate, had an injury in camp, made his way onto his field, and now, because of injuries and circumstances, getting a little bit more playing time. He made some plays in that Patriots game, got his first sack against Cam Newton, and we had a chance to sit down with Greenard and look back on his 2020 season. It's the Deep Slant One-on-One presented by Xfinity. Our guest this week, outside linebacker John Greenard. And welcome in. John, first of all, it's John and not Jonathan. I think I've called you Jonathan for many, many months. And I don't know when we all started calling you John, but here we are. It's right. John, right?
Yeah, it's whatever y'all want to call me. You know, everybody out here, they get lazy. They don't want to say Jonathan, so they say John.
You know, you've gone through 3/4 of the year. What's it been like for you? I know it's been full of ups and downs, but you're out on the field, you're making some plays.
Overall, I just take the little small things that I learn out of it, learn how to still get in a routine for a 16, 17-week season, I'm in college at this point. We're pretty much getting ready for the bowl game, and now here we are. We got 4 more games left. So to get my mind and get my body right is one thing I definitely just looked up to the older guys, just to see how do they maintain throughout this whole process, and what are they doing in their free time just to make sure that their mind is fine or their body's fine, just little things like that.
And you made the most of your opportunities. You got your first career sack, your first career quarterback hit against the Patriots in that win, and Romeo Crennel said that you were really pumped about getting that sack. So how does that affect the confidence of a rookie? Obviously, you can play ball, you can do some things on the field, but to get a sack against a guy like Cam Newton, does that sort of change your mentality at that point in the season?
Definitely for myself, it was definitely it was refreshing and a lot of weight off my shoulders in a sense because they brought me here to help the team out, and I finally could do something that I was brought here to do and help contribute to the team. So it was definitely humbling. It was exciting. It was full of emotions. But now, once that happened, I definitely knew that it was time to go back and get some more. So now all I did was just make me more hungry to get another sack or anything I can do to help TFL. Freeing up one of my teammates. Anything, just being out there is gonna be.
You modeled your game a little bit after J.J. Watt, or you watched him a lot in college.
Right.
So, what's it like playing alongside him? I mean, he's in year 10, he's still making big plays. What have you learned just from watching another veteran in the locker room?
A guy like him, just watching him, how he prepares, that's a guy it doesn't matter, we're winning or losing, he's still foot to the gas. I mean, it doesn't matter if we could have won. He still could be thinking about something that happened and he could have done this better, And that mindset there, even though he's his own worst critic, and I think that's one thing I like about him the most is no matter how many plays he's made, whether he got 100 sacks or 200 sacks or no sacks, he's still going to be going as if he's chasing his first sack. Whether it's 100 snaps or no snaps, I'm going to be going 100% no matter what. So whatever comes with it as far as goals, I haven't really set too many goals for myself. But the main goal I have is just whatever opportunity I get, just take full advantage of it.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks so much for the time and best of luck for the rest of the season, John.
Thank you again. Have a good one.
The passion of our fans comes through. That's next on Texans 360. It's the final segment of Texans 360. Well, the Texans have the most passionate fan base, and we had a chance to catch up with them in this really cool series called Puro Texans. Houston Texans cheerleader Jessica introduces us to this week's fan.
Hola Texans fans y bienvenidos a otro episodio de Puro Texans presented by Verizon. It's Texans game day here at Energy, and today we're featuring Houston Texans Fan of the Year winner, Dan Flores, better known as Toucans Dan, a Texans superfan who hasn't missed a Houston Texans partido en más de 10 años. My temperature has been checked and my cute mask is on, so let's head inside to meet our superfan, Dan. Felicidades on the Fan of the Year award. What was the process like, and what were your thoughts when you found out that you won this amazing award?
Man, I was totally surprised. I had no idea. Toro and Ryan set me up for a little Zoom interview about, being a big fan. And my favorite thing about being a Texans fan is actually interacting with all the other fans. There's a lot of great people out here that come out and they treat me like family and made me addicted to being here because I've got to see them. They lift me up and I like lifting them up and cheering on the Texans. Win or lose, we'll have a great time all the time.
The Texans have superfans all over the world, but this particular fan flies to every Houston Texans home game from the Rio Grande Valley, or the Valley as Texans know it.
Over 11 years ago, I finally got enough seniority with my company to get weekends off, and I was able to come and support the Texans in person. It's just the best feeling in the world. From the first time that I was there, I was addicted, and I have not missed one since.
The Valley is south of Texas along the United States and Mexico border. It's a region con mucha cultura, with 98% of the population being of Hispanic or Latino origin.
All that culture, the music, people, it all melts together, you know? So it's like you don't really focus on anything but being a fan and being family. But you throw that little Latin flavor in there, and it's a wonderful experience. Just to feel like family with so many people from all over the place. I love it. I feel like I'm a player when they put the helmet on. I just come out here, I put this hat on, I'm Toucans Dan. I feel like I'm responsible to be out here and cheering, getting the team pumped and excited.
Fan of the Year winner, and remember,
Photo Texans!
Love seeing the passion in Toucans Dan. Love the name. You can't go wrong with a nickname like Toucans Dan. And even in the midst of a pandemic, being able to come out and support the Houston Texans. Love seeing that. Love seeing you. It's been a great show. Couldn't do it without the help of Tyler Sudarth and all of you watching. So all of you out there, stay safe. And as always, go Texans.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to know when we post new content.